Bienvenidos a Opulent LD TV, desde St. Paul, Minnesota, directamente a Miami, Florida, trayéndote todo el fuego.
The situation with Subriel Matias. They want to know why you're not fighting Subriel Matias and your reason why.
We have I never knew that I was people keep saying I was his mandatory. That never came up. I think after this fight, after this fight, once we win this fight, we'll be his mandatory fight. But I already told I never went, like I said before, I never wanted to go to IBF route way before
before Matias. Right.
Before Matias was champion, before I even knew Matias was ranked. I told everybody, I told my management, I told my promoters, I don't want to fight for the IBF. I don't want to do the 10-pound rule because of the way I felt that night of the fight with Alamo. I dominate Alamo, but Alamo was a lesser caliber fighter. But I know how I felt being in the ring, and I know how I felt the night before. So I'm like I said, I'm not a small 140. I've been at 140 since I've been fighting 138 since 15 years old. I'm a big 140, but I'm not a. But it's weird. I'm a big 140, but I feel like I'm a small 147 pounder. But yeah, I told him I didn't want to fight for the. I told him I didn't want to fight for the IBF, but with this IBF eliminator, we're gonna try again to see how I feel. If we get a nutritionist to make sure that I put the right things in my body to make sure that 10-pound rule don't really take nothing out for me, and then let's see how I perform on fight night. And from there, once we win that fight, we'll go back to the drawing board to see if we're gonna proceed with the IBF route or we're gonna go to WBC or however we go, but it's one step at a time.
And like that 10-pound rule, that's like when Danny Jacobs fought Canelo, and it was for the IBF World Championship. It kind of messed him up, like in terms of trying to keep that weight. In fact, he got to the point where he just took the fine.
Yeah,
he took a fine. I think he was how much was the fine? 100,000, something like that.
No, I think it was like $1 million.
Because he didn't want to, because it affects the fighter.
Right.
It affects the fighter. It takes more, because it takes a lot to even come down to your weight and to make weight and things of that nature, and then to have to try to maintain it. Especially like with Richardson Hitchins, he's a big 140. You know what I mean? So it could be a possibility that it could affect him more, just like Danny Jacobs. It can affect him more. So I mean, again, you
got fighters like Devin Haney going up to 165 the night of fight night. I'm pretty sure if Devin would have only had a rehydration clause, he probably would have felt a little bit, his energy level would have probably been worse. I know this for a fact as a fighter. You can like Lenny said, you got fighters like Danny Jacobs that didn't want to do that. You got fighters like Ryan Garcia that even complained about having a whole 10 pounds to the next day, to the day of the fight. So I've been in that position, but I was blessed to be in a position with a lower caliber fighter. This next guy I'm fighting, I don't really know what type of level he's on, but we still gonna test it out because the IBF is giving me an opportunity to get to a world title sooner than other organizations. So we're gonna still see how I feel, and then from there, if I feel like I made the weight healthy, I rehydrated healthy, and I feel good, I feel like the next step is only to fight for the IBF. And if Subriel Matias is still the champion in that weight class, well, that's a challenge we're welcome.
Okay, Hitchins, I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick. So, what is your rebuttal to people who say, fuck all that, you ducking? What is your rebuttal to them?
They're not a fighter, so they don't really know how that feels. They don't really know
what it is to lose that weight. They don't know what it is.
Guys don't know what it is to lose a lot of weight. I don't want to say how much weight I lose, but a lot of weight. Hold that for a week. Hold that for maybe like a week and a half leading up to the fight. Then you drink a fucking Gatorade and you step on the scale 140. You drink a Gatorade, you're already at 143. You eat breakfast, you're already at 148. might use the bathroom, drink water. You're touching 150 already, and you didn't even. And that's already with breakfast. You didn't see lunch. You didn't see dinner the day of the weigh-in, and then you got to hold that till the next day, to the next morning of the fight. Your body's depleted. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's still in that stage where you're making weight. If I come to the gym right now, fight. If I'm making weight and I'm going to the gym, fight week at 144. If I go eat a steak, rice, and mashed potatoes or whatever, mashed potatoes and a good meal, I'm gonna go up to 152 automatically, 151 with a drink. I'm going up automatically because my weight blows up like that. So people don't really understand it. So they say what they say.
Gotcha.
That's because they want to see a fight.
Yeah.
They don't care what it is. They want to see a fight. They don't want to. They don't care what the fighter go through, or anything like that. They want to see this fight. You know. So, but
And I said it before. The guy is not an easy fight. If he was any other champion, I would have definitely. If it was another champion that I felt like wasn't the type of threat that he's bringing, I would be like, oh yeah, for sure. I will still find a way to get it done. But I'm not gonna go in there and half-ass myself or half-ass the fans or have no excuses when it's all said and like, oh yeah, I didn't 10 pounds. That shit depleted me. I've been at 140 for so long. That's why I don't want to have to take it there. So I feel like it's up to us to be smart. But like I said, back then when I was fighting Alamo, I didn't have the resources to get a nutritionist and a team to look after that for me. But now, you know, I'm high up in my career, so I can hire a team to see how my body feels.
And you know what? People saying he's ducking, but that's not true because everybody they put in front of us, we took the fight.
That's true.
We took the fight. You understand what I'm saying? And all of the fights wasn't easy fights. You got some fighters, when they start up their career, they're getting easy fights. They're getting cab drivers. But the majority of his fights, when you look back over, you're going to see that some of those guys were formidable opponents. You know what I'm saying? They were formidable opponents, you know, and we pulled it off. We didn't say, no, we didn't want this person or we didn't want that person. So there it is. So nobody's ducking anybody. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's just being smart.